say when there are no words? Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging day? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, morning, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing F1 2017 Season 14, Round 19, here at Interlagos in Brazil. My name is King-Kodiak, and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary box is not one, but two special guests. Of course, my faithful companion, Mr. Hamish Sopwith, is with me once again. Hello to you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. It is Round 19 in Sao Paulo. What a track. The weather already looks like it could be spicing up the action, but we will find out who is going to get pole around this incredible track in just 12 minutes.
And also joining us in the commentary box, partly because he wants to for some crazy reason, but also he has had technical failure earlier this week, so he decided to come and help us in the box. It is Failer from the Sauber team.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Trying to get track of some things in the background today in the race, and I'm also looking forward to this race because Brazil is absolutely one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. And yeah, hope we have some fun.
16 drivers join us on the track today. Now the champion. No, well, I've got 60. I know Failer's not one of the drivers. He's not actually on the driver list. That caught me out as well. The driver, the server did actually list 3 spectators because I thought Failer would have to join the session and leave, but no, we actually have 3 spectators. Of course, Failer being one of them. Most people coming out very early on to get a outlap in. The clouds are definitely looming. There was rain in the Oceania qualifying session, which happened at UK time this morning. So that was also quite good. It gave me an indication on what pole time they set. But, gentlemen, I'll throw this to you. What sort of pole time can we expect?
Well, I would say it's probably a low 1 minute 8. I mean, if we get a 1:07, which maybe the likes of Brendan Lee might be able to look at, maybe Raven, if he's on form, we know how quick he can be, but I would suggest around about that time. Failer?
I'd actually say a 181 or something like that will be pole time today. So we saw some people in practicing earlier in the week in qualifying sessions that they can do 181s, 182s. So it would be something around like that.
Very good. Thank you very much, Lamp Games. Much appreciated for your continued support in AOR.
Absolutely, yes, I just spotted that as well. And also, we would like to announce the new partnership that Apex Online Racing has with Elgato and Elgato Gaming. They are on board with us. We look forward to a long and healthy relationship with them. We are on board with the Brendan Lee. He's just gone through the Senna S's and the Curva del Sol. Now, all the way down, the Reta Oposta, down to turns 4 and 5, the Descida do Lago. There is 5. Now, starting to come back uphill for turns 6 and 7. These turns happen very, very quickly. It is a very quick lap. As we already said, it is the 108 or thereabouts. Ferradura, then Curva del Laradina, 8, and then turn 9 is Peronino. I say 8 because there's no actual name on turn 8. Parzo Kiefer with a 108.5. My God, he stuck that in there. Danny with a 108.4 as well. Seeing Brendan Lee then come through Mugello in 11. Now Junsao, a little bit of a lock up there. You need to get this exit right. And now flying up the hill then, non-existent turn 13, then following that round all the way 14. There it is, slide banking as well. Not that you particularly need it because it's a near non-existent corner. And Brendan Lee guts the pole with a 108.383. What a statement of intent.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be very pleased with that opening lap. That's a very solid opening lap. I have no doubt that the track is going to get fast. I'm sure Danny is going to be able to find 600ths of a second somewhere around this 4.3 kilometer track.
Absolutely. So what sort of strategy can we expect from our drivers then, Fela?
Absolutely everything. I've been already informed that the race is going to be dry. So yeah, you can do absolutely everything. You can do 2-stop, you can do 1-stop, and all sorts of variations in a 2-stop as well. You can use mediums, you can do softs. It's up to you if you use 2 sets of softs or 2 sets of super softs. It is wide open in my opinion. I guess the most common strategy will be super soft, medium, super soft though. Super soft, soft, super soft.
Very good. So, Fela, in terms of aero, what would you tend to run round here? Would you run a lower aero for that fairly technical second sector, or would you be tempted to run a high aero for the technical second sector, or would you prefer a low aero so you can get the speed down, like, you know, from turns 12 and turns 3 to 4?
I would tend to use low aero because overtaking is very difficult in this game generally, and you need low downforce to get that straight line speed to get to opportunity to even overtake someone. Definitely better than high downforce on this track, I believe.
Seeing some times come in. Formula Danny has already got the pole time back again with a 108.348, 35 thousandths ahead of Brendan Lee. Max, Fela's teammate, has stuck it on third at the moment. Wow. Just 2 tenths down. We actually have Max and ACR Timp on identical to the thousandths lap time. Now, it being
Did you get that once before for King-Kodiak? I'm trying to remember what track it was. It wasn't Russia.
We have
China, Raven and Marek. Was that?
That was it. Yeah,
I was going to say we have had it once before, but it was Timp, I think, was the other. Was it Raven and Timp or Raven and who?
Raven and Marek were there.
Marek. Yeah, but it was whoever in those circumstances. It tends to be whoever gets the pole time first is the one that is deemed to be ahead.
Nobody actually also at the thousandth of a second, the same. 12 and 13.
12 and 13. Oh yes, yeah. ACR Nobody and Fizzy have managed the same. So twice in the same round, we've had that. So Raven and Non-Run are the only two not to set alive. Now Topar is looking at a different strategy here. He's on the mediums. Now that one would assume then. On my screen, he's on the mediums. He's
same for me.
Yeah, 1.1 down. So he's done his time run on low fuel. So either he's looking just to kind of get a feel for how these mediums work, or he's looking to start on different tyres to everybody else. So, that's an interesting one.
It is interesting. If he can get into the top 10, I mean, he's already. The thing with Topa, he is one of the championship contenders. I mean, this is a big race. This is a race. He has to perform at his absolute best, which we haven't gone into details yet about the championship. Kodiak, feel free to add anything I might miss. But for those of you unaware of what the possible championship, place finishes might be for Danny to become champion, or whoever it might be. If Danny wins, he will become champion. If Topa finishes ahead of Danny, then Topa has a realistic chance of being in the championship. If we want Timp to have a shot at the championship next time in Abu Dhabi, Timp will have to hope that Danny finishes P5 and that Topa finishes behind him. But as I said, if Danny wins, then that's game over.
Indeed, yeah, it doesn't matter where everybody else finishes. If Formula Danny gets that top spot, then he is our Season 14 champion. Also, realistically, Timp really needs to win or become second in this round and then do the reverse in the next round, and for Danny and Topa not to score.
Yeah,
that much. Realistically, that's his only. Mathematically, yes. Realistically, probably not. No disrespect meant to Tim. He's been an absolute fantastic racer. We have to bear in mind.
Marcel Kiefer. He's actually got the
He's
same
matched
time
it.
as Danny. That's a triple. We've got but this track has always been like this. It's always been mega close. I don't know if you've noticed that in the past, Failer, how the lap times are ultra close.
They definitely are. It's absolutely outrageous.
6 drivers sharing 3 times. Wow.
I mean, we already mentioned that we had that in China already, but I remember that back then, at the race start, the pole position, the spot was actually free, and both cars were upside down each other on the second position.
Wonderful.
Kind of I hope we don't experience that today.
Yeah, let's hope not. Let's hope let's hope Danny or Marcel Kiefer are able to go a bit faster than they have done already, and I have no doubt that they will. Now, Danny is actually on a flying lap. Now, will he do what he did last week? Because he did a double flying lap round here. As you've already said, Fela, it's probably a 2-stop, so maybe it won't harm him as much as it could have done last week, although Danny did put a very solid performance in second.
Yeah, I mean, Danny did actually do a double flying lap to set that pole time. It has to be said, and also something that I noticed some of the Oceania runners did as well. They felt the need to do 2 laps on these super soft tyres. So, is it fair to say then, Fader, that these super softs need that bit more bedding in to get the best out of them?
I'm actually not a fan of running 2 laps in qualifying, 2 time laps. You can do that, but I usually only do that if I want to get in the groove, get in the flow, and then set a really quick lap time only with 1 lap, because I'm not really good in terms of tire wear, so I definitely need every single lap on the race for the super softs.
Is it me, or do the clouds above look very, very dark?
They do look very dark in certain sections, not so much facing the way Danny was coming round 13 to 14. Oh wow, what a
boom! He's shaved nearly 1.5 tenths off of that, so that kind of puts pay to the will Danny and Marcel Kiefer start in the same position, unless somehow somebody manages to match that time again. We would that'll be 4 instances of exactly the same time being set. Slick, look at that, under 2 tenths in the McLaren in 4th position. Very nice. Marcel Kiefer and Brendan Lee are still in the pits. They won't have time to come out unless they come out now. Let's see.
On the outlap on my screen.
He's still in the pits. He's
Kiefer
Kiefer's just come out, but Brendan's still in the pits on my screen. So Marcel might just squeeze in. But Timp is up to 2nd. Oh, he's not giving up, and fair play. Why should he? He's still pushing very, very hard now. 2nd position. He's got enough fuel for another run. I think he's still pushing hard. So he's looking to do. That seems to be a fairly common thing with these drivers today. Is lots of them doing 2 time laps.
Yeah, interestingly, Topa is about to finish his lap, coming up to the final sector now, and he seems to have got a good line to be able to push it. Oh, like a Gordon's gone off on the left-hand side of turn 14. And let's see what Topa can do. He is on the soft compound tyres.
Yeah.
And it's looking quick. It is very good. It's 4th.
Wow.
On the soft compound tyres, incredible.
What a stunner. But Timp is then coming up to complete his lap. We've got less than... I always get confused because, of course, the pit lane entry starts there. Timp straight lining it. Pole by 21 thousandths of a second for ACR Timp.
Wow. Rico Gordon, look how well he's done. He's only half a second off. That's solid from him. We haven't always seen him right at the top, so fair play.
Marcel Kiefer just crossed the line, and I mean barely. He barely got to about 3 or 4 car lengths ahead of the start-finish line before the flag came out. So Marcel Kiefer is on a time lap. Let's follow him through. So Topar, unless he's doing a second qualifying lap, he's probably going to put into the pit after his. Oh my goodness me! Hello, Carl Hamilton. Let's not forget we do have other racers in this field. Has just bettered the pole again by 23 thousandths. 1:08.173. What a great benchmark for Marcel Kiefer in the second Haas. As he now comes up through, I need to change one of my windows, so that's going to do that. Apologies. Right, so then as he continues now through turn 11, through Mugello, down to Junsao. Up to Junsao, I should say, as one of the Force Indias ahead. It must be Fizzy because we don't have Fab Donoso with us this evening. Now to the line. Can Marcel Kiefer upset the balance once again? Brendan Lee did not come out. Once again, he will start 4th. And it's going to be 3rd.
Good efforts.
4 drivers within a 10th. Good grief. That's incredible.
Almost a whole grid apart bar Kalon within a second. Out of that, I think Topa's one of the bigger winners out of that. What a lap time. P6 on the soft compound tyres. Out of interest, do you know what the tyre life compared to the super soft and the soft are?
I know that the softs can last around 15 laps, but that's absolutely borderline, I think. Super soft should go up to lap 10, 11, I think.
Okay, so it's not a huge amount of laps, but it's going to make the difference over 36. So let's see if that strategy has allowed Topa to possibly give himself a shot at winning the championship in Abu Dhabi.
I've got to say, if you want to do the one stop on this track, you have to use softs. You can't do one stop with super soft mediums. You have to use soft mediums because the mediums last around 20, 21 laps, maybe 22. So
interesting. So we can only assume that Topa is probably going to do a one stop. So we will definitely be keeping an eye on him throughout this race. As the drivers just finished up, we may as well start going through the standings. Kai Hamilton, what a good quality qualifying lap from him. It's 1:08.1. ACR Tim 23 thousandths behind him. Marcel Kiefer 31 thousandths behind him. Formula Danny 44 thousandths behind him. Brendan Lee, I don't know if he's going. I don't think he'd be very happy with P5. He's normally expecting quite a bit more. Topa in P6 as for actual standings.
They just disappear. Yeah. Try again.
We are talking about Brendan. We are on board with him anyway. At least we were on my screen. Brendan Lee, he is just over a 10th behind. Topa P6, good from him. Almost 2 tenths behind Slick. That's one of McLaren's best qualifying positions of the season. Good effort. Max Failer's teammate, not bad at all. He's P8. He's often quite consistently midfield. ACR at Raven in P9, and to round out, I think probably Riker Gordon's best qualifying of the season in P10.
And only half a second down. Now, of course, those times are going to be closer because the fact that the times are, the actual lap time is quite a bit shorter than quite a number of tracks we have here. So that then will lead to smaller gaps in between each car. But I think that is going to lead to some incredible racing. Let's head on down then.
The slipstream round here, if you get a good run off the exit of turn, well, if you can navigate turns 1 to 3 well, Failer will tell you how much time there is to be able to be gained down that back straight, which is 3 to 4. It's quite incredible.
It is just a bit too much wheel spin. You can lose like 2 or 3 tenths already, and yeah, that can already be enough to overtake someone into turn 4. Actually, that will be the main overtaking spot, I guess, today, because the braking zone into turn 1 is quite tricky, and it will depend how you go through the centers.
Absolutely. We've seen how close these guys already are. The top 4 within a 10th of each other at full crank. So 2 to 3 tenths is very costly. Down to the grid then. 5 lights. wind them up for the penultimate time in this season and let them go another pretty quick start. Then the Williams of Kyle Hamilton doing a pretty good job hanging on to that. Tim is being swarmed by Marcel Kiefer. Marcel Kiefer now having the inside line, gets that second position, shoves Tim wide. Oh goodness me, that is getting very, very racy then. Whoa, there's Brendan Lee trying to do something about it. Let's can we get on board with Brendan then at this point? Look how close everybody is. And everyone behaving themselves. Marcel Kiefer did get that second position from Tim. Oh, and that was a big tank slapper there by Formula Danny. Brendan Lee is straight through then on the inside. Can he hold on to that as they come up into the very twisty sector 2? Yes, they can. Brendan Lee now fourth. Oh my goodness me, he's diving on the inside of Tim. My goodness me, Brendan Lee is wanting to get further up, but Tim is having none of that. Very nice drive out of turn, that'll be turn 9. Apparently, no, goodness me. Now Brendan Lee's having a go again, and oh, the bit of contact between the two. That was a bit
I don't think there's contact. I didn't see contact on my screen, Kodiak. Maybe there was, but I didn't see any. Anyway, we know how aggressive Brendan is to drive against. But now Timp has Topa right behind him on his gearbox, and Timp is right behind Danny. He's in the slipstream. In fact, Timp looks like he's faster. He's almost going to the pit, almost crossing the line. Kyle Hamilton obviously sets the fastest up. So here we go, Timp right behind Brendan Lee. Is he going to be able to brake? Is he pushing Formula Danny wide? No, he isn't. He's going to go.
Oh, contact!
Brendan has just been spanned. Timp's going to go down the outside. Formula Danny.
Topa's last.
Oh, Topa is here. Topa spun it. Topa is indeed down at the back. ATR Nobody's actually he's had a major problem as well. What on earth has happened to the second Red Bull? Unless that timing is completely wrong. What happened to Brendan? He's down in 5th, so he will be pretty furious about that. He's now behind Slick. So yeah, Topa. Oh, what a catastrophe! It really not what he needed. And did I spot he's on the medium tyres? No, he's on soft tyres, beg your pardon. So, again, he wanted to make that one-stop work. He had the pace on those yellow marked tyres to be right at the front, and this is disastrous for his strategy.
Absolutely. I mean, he's 16 seconds behind, takes 19-20 seconds to do a pit stop. He has to go have mega pace to be in with a chance, to be honest. We know he's quick on those tyres, so let's just hope he can perform.
36 laps, a long way to go, so we will see how he's able to recover that. From a driver's perspective, Fela, if you've got your strategy in mind and something like that happens early on, how do you kind of just settle yourself down? ACR Nobody mysteriously has jumped up to the lead. I'm not quite sure what is going on with that Red Bull, but he's magically put himself in first somehow.
It's P8 for me.
Oh, there we go. He's down in last on my screen, so my game can't decide actually where ACR Nobody is. But as a driver then, you've had something that completely upsets the balance. How do you kind of just calm yourself down and get back into the groove?
It's all about trusting in yourself, trusting how fast you can be, and it's all about dedication. I think we saw some guys already just dropping out of the race because they've had enough when something like that happens. But I think especially Topa, he knows how quick he is. He knows what is at stake today. He's still one of the championship contenders, so he has to go on, and I think we will see him carving through the field.
Absolutely. I'm trying to work out. ACR Nobody on my screen is in the middle of nowhere. He's actually just coming through. He's actually completely on his own, so I think he's actually dead last by a very long way. So he's had a massive problem somewhere.
No, he's P8 for me, Kodiak. 8.1.
8 for me. 8 for me is Segro in the McLaren.
Okay, hopefully that'll fix it.
Yeah, on my screen, ATR Nobody's just jumped back up to the lead. So he has an amazing ability to put himself in the lead just at certain moments. So that's a bit of a weird one. We haven't had that before. There's absolutely nothing we can do about it, unfortunately, stream side. But looking at Timp, he does look like he's starting to put away. As ATR Nobody jumps back down to last, it does look like he's actually beginning to pull away from Formula Danny little by little. But Marcel Kiefer is putting all the pressure he can on race leader Kyle Hamilton. So those two are now locked in a battle for the lead.
Well, what a haul of points so for Haas. If they can get Marcel and Formula Danny second and fourth, that would probably wrap up the constructors if it was to finish like that.
Pretty much, yeah. It almost certainly would. So ATR Timp is in third, and of course it depends on where you finish, not as opposed to where you start. We all know this, but we will see how that pans out. Yeah, what a tragedy for Topa, but we'll see how he makes his pit stop work.
Yeah, so Fela, I've been wanting to ask one of the drivers for a while, but haven't got the chance. Now, you and Brendan, you've obviously had races where you've been able to race quite closely. How do you find his driving? Because I've said, just from looking at his driving style, he's quite aggressive. Is that in the back of your mind when you're racing him, or do you trust him that you're unlikely to make contact?
You have in mind that he sometimes is very aggressive, and I think we saw that already with Tim today in this race. But all in all, he's still fair with it and what he does. And in the end, you've got to trust everyone on the track. It doesn't matter what he did in the past, what kind of status he has for other drivers maybe. You have to trust everyone to leave the space when it's needed, so you will still go for any gap on the track.
Fair enough. That's what you need from a driver, really, isn't it, though, Kodiak? I suppose that's part of the reason why he was able to win the esports, is that he takes no prisoners, so to speak.
Absolutely, we've seen a number of times. We've seen it in this race alone, where he's not afraid to get his elbows out and get on with the job. We're actually looking streamside at 8th and 9th. It's Segro and Isaac. They're on the medium tyres. As Justice Isaac throws it on the inside of turn 1 on the McLaren. Very nice and clean move. Gets it done, and is now through the SNRSs, or NSSs, as I was about to say. A lovely back shot here, as the McLaren now has DRS, and my God, that DRS is pretty powerful. That was a late but fair defence then by the Mercedes to keep Segro behind. So again, let's not discount those that are clearly on the one-stop strategy rather. They are very likely to play a pretty key role in the standings as we get towards the end. Because what's the average pit stop loss here?
19 to 20 seconds, Kodiak.
Exactly.
So as long as they don't fall more than, obviously, because the two stoppers have to do it twice, so as long as they don't fall more than 40 seconds behind the leaders, and at this pace they're not looking to do so, then they are not going to be, they're going to be quite racy towards the end.
I would have thought so. I mean, talk about racy. Tim is pitting. That is interesting. So he looks like he had no issues coming into the pits. Well, keep an eye on Marcel Kiefer. He looks like he's got a pretty good run off turn 2. Whether it's going to be enough to challenge Carl Hamilton, unlikely. He has got the DRS, but nowhere near close.
A bit too far back from there. But Carl Hamilton not having to do too much to defend from Marcel Kiefer. He's fully aware that he's there. But not.
So, God, that's close. Taper's put it in the wall almost. No, he hasn't. He's really lucky. He was side by side with Raiko, and he put a wheel onto the grass and pretty much lost the back end. He lost about a second there.
Tim is out on the medium tyres. Is he looking to try and stretch that to the end?
No way. No way.
That can't do it. You'd go soft, surely, if you were two-stopping. You would do super soft and 2 runs of soft, wouldn't you?
Well, remember what I said about the softs? They last about 14-15 laps. If he wants to go super soft in his final stint, he has to choose mediums.
Oh, we've lost Raiko Gordon, and there he is. He's spun in the middle somewhere. There's bits, big lump of wing missing from the front of that Ferrari. Marcel Kiefer is in from second position, and that is soft tyres going onto the Haas then. So, and also Raven is in. He was already fairly way down. Oh, we've had another problem somewhere. Is that Topar that's in trouble? No, it wasn't. No, it's just
right on the back of Caleb, though. I mean, we might want to switch to this Kodiak.
DRS
open around the outside. Is he going to outbrake him? He's side by side. Maybe the switchback if he gets a good exit. Oh, that's so close. Now he's going to have the outside line. No, he isn't. He's just going to duck in right behind Kalon. That was very close, though.
It was, and he's going to go for an inside line coming up to turn 8. He's got it done. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. I think Kalon saw that one was done. Marcel Kiefer is right with this particular battle now on a fresh set of soft tyres. So again, he's going to look to put that pressure on Kalon as well and get through the field as quickly as he can. Let's jump back up to Carl Hamilton. Carl Hamilton is going on again, so he's looking to get 10 laps out of those tyres. Danny is continuing as well. Slick is in the pits. He was in third at the time. Brendan and Max have continued. Isaac is on the medium tyres. Of course, he would continue along with Segro. So I think that's all the Super Soft runners. Oh no, but top 4 are still on them, but all of those outside of the top 4 have ditched their super soft tyres. So I guess the top 4 are still pretty comfortable with their kind of pace. Again, from a driver's perspective, Failure, when you know what strategy you want to run, you have an idea of when you're going to come into the pit. If you have one of your championship contenders around you and they pit, for instance, 1 lap before you or earlier than you originally planned, does that tempt you to just copy them?
That's a tough question. I think that's different from race to race and how your mindset is going into the race.
Sure.
Usually, if you have an idea what you want to do strategy-wise in a race, you stick to that. Especially if it's like for Topa, for example, if he's doing the 1-stop, there's no point going on super softs twice instead of mediums for some reason. Only because someone else does some weird strategy calls. I don't know. But if it's kind of similar, you might want to pit maybe 1 lap earlier than usually want to, just to minimize the undercut that your opponent gets.
So it's circumstantial. There's no kind of set way of approaching. If this person does this, I need to do the same to compensate. It's just down to how your race is going and what your initial strategy is, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. If you think that your opponent that you're racing with is on the same strategy, then you might, and you think you still wanted to go on like 2 or 3 more laps, then you might pit a bit earlier, just, as I said, to minimize the undercut.
So Isaac is now up to 4th position, then he's the leader of those medium runners. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on how he's doing. My game is showing ATR Nobody has falling through the field, currently is 7th, but he's actually being lapped, so he is completely out of position. As I say, my game just doesn't want to acknowledge where he actually is. Just watching Carl Hamilton. Is he going to come in this time? Answer is no. That's interesting. I would have expected him to come in by now. Danny is, though. Danny's had enough of those super soft tyres. Oh, slow it. Oh, wrong pit line. I was thinking he'd sped, but I was looking at the wrong line. And Max is in as well. So that's, with the exception of Carl Hamilton, that is all the super soft runners then have ditched them. That's going to put Isaac then up to 2nd place. He'll be quite pleased with that, I imagine. Oh, is that another set of super softs for Danny? It is. It's another set of super softs for the house. Can one of you double check the race director, because we know what this game's like for. And apparently Max has done the same thing. So can you just double check race director for Danny and Max to see if they have actually come back out on super softs? Oh,
wow.
crikey!
Marcel Kiefer, he literally just put one at the inside of Topar completely out of the blue at the end of turn 4. Topar's gonna try and fight back, but he just isn't. But that's big. Because Marcel Kiefer is obviously Formula Danny's teammate. This is pretty much... I don't know if there's going to be any communication or team orders or anything between the drivers, but Danny has got Marcel Kiefer exactly where he wants him at this point in the race.
And Topa hasn't pitted yet, remember, so it's going to be a long haul it's going to be a long day, I think, for Topa, but he could still cling on to a championship hope. But it's going to take something pretty special. All falls on where Formula Danny finishes. That's going to be the biggest telling on how bad a day Topar's going to have. Because for all we know, Danny may finish out of the points. So it's not a done deal, as Brendan Lee now gets his name on the fastest lap board with a 1:10.9 on those soft tyres. Let's find him. Where is he? Brendan Lee is in
P12. Moment, just slick.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's a weird lag moment.
Yeah. Okay, I think we'll ignore that. Hopefully that hasn't caused any issues. I'm sure it hasn't. So far, Topa is in a decent position relative to where he could be. We have to assume now he's on the 1-stop. Hopefully that spin didn't heat up his tyres and wear them out too much. Fela, I don't know if you know how much does a spin affect your tyre wear? Is it quite dramatic or not really?
It depends on the spin. It can be quite dramatic. You can lose like 4 to 5% if it's a really heavy spin. I think in turn 3 with the speed you have, you might have lost only 2 or 3%.
Look where Fizzy is. He's having a good day. Well, I say that he's got Marcel Kiefer and Topa right on his gearbox, so he may not count that as a good day, but Fizzy up to 5th, or 6th or 7th, depending on where my game wants to put him. He's put ACR Nobody back in the lead for me again, so I'm kind of having to ignore where ACR Nobody is. As Marcel Kiefer's just got... Oh, that was a big tank slapper for Topar there. It was well caught, but that's going to lose him some momentum. At exactly the point where you really don't want to lose it, on the exit of the Senna S's.
Yeah, I've noticed with Topar, he's had a couple of moments. He's really not enjoying those center S's. He seems to be quick round the rest of the track, but that's 3 times. The first time he lost it. The second time he almost lost it on the exit trying to overtake Kalon. And he seems to have lost it on his own again. Whether that's a sign of his tyres going off, I don't know.
Indeed, we do not know. I'm surprised. Why is Hamilton stringing those tyres out so long? Is he expecting rain?
He's already in the 13s. He has to pit now because
and in he comes. Yeah.
Time.
He's not expecting rain, is he? I mean, yeah, the clouds do look like they might, but of course that is one thing we do not know what the weather's going to do.
No,
I do.
I mean,
I've been informed actually.
Oh, did you?
It is a dry race.
Okay.
Medium compound tyres apparently. So
yeah,
one stop, surely not.
Yes, I think it is because this is around the time when you want to
22 laps. Yeah.
The soft runners also should come in the next 2 or 3 laps.
So
good overtake there by Max round the outside, turn 2 actually round the outside, sort of inside outside, turn 2 to 3. Very nice job from Fowler's teammate.
Indeed. Seagro's up to 4.
We've got Timp and Danny neck and neck. Oh, sorry, Kodiak.
No, carry on.
They were, well, they're not now, but they were neck and neck. Danny's gone for a bit of a dive. Wow, that's close. Got Brendan Lee right behind them. So if those two mess up, then Brendan's going to get the champagne from that particular battle. But look how close it is between these two. Is Danny going to have some DRS assistance down this back straight? He will have the DRS, but whether it's going to be more powerful enough to get past Timp, it might be, because Timp hasn't had a brilliant exit, I don't think. He's right in the slipstream. I bank on Danny being able to get a move. DRS wide open. He's going to go to the inside. Timp deciding to fend round the outside. That will give him the inside for turn 2. Might give him better traction. Danny locking up, but not driving into Timp, and that is a solid overtake from Danny. That's textbook.
Yeah, those 3 drivers, 3 teams, 3 different tyre compounds as well, and Danny had to do it. He could not afford to stay behind Tim for too long. He's got the move done. He's still got Tim obviously nailed to his rear wing. Topar and Fizzy both in, both coming out on the medium tyres, which is exactly as you called it, Failer. So obviously down the order at the moment, but they could well play a very big part as this race continues. We will see. Segro is having a pretty good run actually. He's currently in 3rd with non-runner on the soft tyres. So as you were saying, Fede, we should be seeing our soft tyre runners coming in soon. The top 3 have not pitted yet, because that includes Segro, who won't do on those medium tyres just yet. When did it was about lap 20 you were saying that the mediums will go to?
I guess so, yeah.
And there he goes. There goes non-runner in the pits. So exactly as you called it. So Isaac and Segro, 1st and 2nd at the moment. Marcel Kiefer is now going to be up to 3rd place. And there he is. And you can see the house bearing down on Segro. So we will see how that transpires. Segro probably won't put up too much of a fight. It could do. He's entitled to, but you as a driver must know who you're in a battle with, but is it not tempting sometimes? Whoa! There's Marcel gets a big old handful of opposite lock going on there. Is it tempting sometimes just to think, how well can I defend against this quicker driver? Or do you just kind of think, no, that's not my fight, I need to concentrate on what I'm doing?
Yeah, as you said, it is kind of both. You want to show that you can maybe defend from one of these really quick guys, but in the end you have to focus on your own race, and that's what you mainly do. Yeah, nothing more to that, I think.
Fair enough. So Marcel Kiefer definitely having a lot of pace at the moment, although it does look like he's kicking the tail out. Thank you again, Lamp Games, for the donation there. Go, Timp, go. Yep, I'm sure he's feeling the need to, as Marcel Kiefer gets a switch back on Segro. The McLaren doesn't really have an answer to that. The blistering pace we've seen from Marcel Kiefer since his pit stop has put him up to 2nd position, with Isaac in the lead at the moment by 6 seconds over Marcel Kiefer. We obviously would think that gap is going to decrease for the time being. Our former leader, Carl Hamilton, is in 6th position, right behind Tim. So that's a battle that's forming. keeping an eye though on Formula Danny. He will need to come in again fairly soon. What time? When did he come in? He came in around 10, I think. So he should be coming in within the next 3 laps, assuming he's looking to do an equal stint on the super softs, and then it'll have to be soft tyres to finish the race with by that point, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. ACR Nobody is seemingly just letting anything and everyone past. We've got Carhampton just behind Nobody, so is Nobody just... I don't know if he's
under blue. He's under blue flag conditions. Because I mean, for the whole race for me, he's been first, last. See, P6 for me is Carl Hamilton. He's currently in 6th position on my screen. Now on my screen, ACR Nobody's just jumped back down to the bottom. So he's like first, last. I think he's actually been last the whole race because he's just letting people go exactly as you see.
He's also P7 for me, as he's famous. So I think that's just on your side, I'm afraid.
Ooh.
Oh, Brandon's... Oh dear, that's not good from Brandon. What's he done? In fact, no, that was Nobody in the other Red Bull.
Oh, right.
He just locked up catastrophically. The only thing I can think of is he is holding up the traffic for Brendan.
Could well be. Brendan is... Oh, he's trying to get past Slick. Both of them on those soft tyres. So he's trying to do what he can to get past that McLaren. Of course, Slick is perfectly entitled to defend against Brendan. And doing a fairly stellar job of doing so at the moment. See, on my screen, ACR Nobody is now in 2nd. So that's just even more confusing. I'll have to wait to the end of the race to find out actually where he is. So hopefully it's where you guys are saying he's actually in 7th. So I'll ask you where ACR Nobody is, so it's easier for me to work out where anybody is. That's weird. I've never had this bug actually before.
We've had it briefly, haven't we? A couple of times in a race where a couple of the drivers have sort of fallen through the field, but still been in the
reappeared.
Place, but we've never had it throughout the whole race, so that's odd.
That's a bit strange. We do have sometimes like trouble for someone. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's Kalon going backwards.
No,
Kimi Räikkönen route.
Oh dear.
He's just oh dear, this isn't good.
I think he was trying to jump out of Fizzy's way. Oh, he's got terrible damage on that car. But difficult to tell from. Big lag moment. So he's redoing a bit of track. So yeah, that's gone horribly wrong for Kalon.
Is he coming into the pit? He's in lean, so yes, he is. I assume he's not going to.
Oh, trouble! Big trouble! It's ACR Nobody. It is. Yeah, we're just seeing the Red Bulls go sideways, smash a few of the braking boards, and Kalon's retired. We did see him having a big moment. ACR Nobody has had a massive moment of his own. I did wonder whether that was Brendan having a big moment. Oh, now there's something very weird's going on with ACR Nobody because non-run has literally tried to drive through him.
Oh, that's not happening on our screen.
Yeah, so it's, I've got a very weird going on with ACR Nobody at the moment. So
it's almost like you're watching back a massive crash replay because I jumped to Nobody and he's just driving round at about 100 miles an hour around turn 9.
Yeah, that's really. So it's almost like he's an AI on your side.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
how weird.
It does seem very odd. Brendan is
in the pits. Super softs? No, it's got to be softs. Yes, another set of softs for Brendan. That's his second and final pit stop of the day. Isaac continues to lead the way, and Raven is coming as well. So we should be expecting our medium runners to come in, or the medium runners that haven't pitted yet. So that is Isaac, Segro,
Nobody on my screen
Max.
as well.
What tyres is Max on? Because apparently he hasn't pitted at all. We know he has.
Yes, pitted for super softs again.
Yeah, because on my screen he hasn't pitted at all, which is no way has he made a set of super soft tyres last this long. And ACR Nobody, we have no idea what he's actually doing at all. So we'll have to wait till after the race then. As Formula Danny is now on the back of Segro. This is for a potential podium position. He's of course on the super softs. He is going to have to pit again. Racing Isaac, exactly as we just said, has come in. So the Mercedes coming in for his one and only stop. It's got to be for the yellow mark tyres. He isn't going to make anything else last that long. Marcel Kiefer now goes into the lead with Formula Danny in hot pursuit. Segro came into the pits as well. Yellow mark tyres on that Mercedes. Where's Segro? Where is Segro? There he is. And it's going to... Yep, and that's yellow mark tyres onto the McLaren as well. So, as my version of ACR Nobody... Apparently he's in the pits and he's now crawling around and has vanished.
Yes, no, he is in the pits. He's coming out now. He's got.
I get a yellow screen when I try and look at ATR Nobody. So I clearly am very desync to ATR Nobody right now. So, sorry, Nobody fans was a weird sentence ever to say. I have no idea where he is. Jump into this battle, and we've got a great battle. 3, 4, and 5. Timp, Hamilton, and Slick. All of these guys have been through the pits. I think all of them once. Max is actually not far behind them either. So
no, he's not. I don't know if he's catching up. It's currently 8.3 to 6.5, so it's about 1.7 seconds. So will Max suddenly catch up? He has came through the pits once already. I assume Max will come in again at some point. He's still got
race leader Marcel Kiefer is in, so that hands the lead back over to Danny. So we'll see how his strategy plays out. But of course, that promotes all of these guys up. Timp in second position. He will definitely want to. Oh, Carl Hamilton, not good. We haven't had
contending for the lead actually as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, it's certainly that certainly was the idea. As Brendan Lee reminding us he's still there. He is on my screen. He's in 11th, so he is really pushing on. He's recently pitted though, so that is a fresh set of boots for the Red Bull.
Hamilton's very close to Tim now.
He is indeed. Well spotted.
Indeed. How close will he be able to do something with DRS? He'll need it because he's got that 3-second penalty now, but is not going to help him at all. So coming through turn 10 then, turns 11 is usually completely flat, and it is now braking for turn 12 is actually quite difficult, especially to get a good exit as well. It's usually the exit you get affected on for turn 12, but it looks like they both got away cleanly. He's going to have DRS, and
Tim's
comes into the pit. So
is Danny. Danny came in as well. So now this is going to be the crucial time. Timp and Danny both coming in at once, so they're going to be going on to what have we got? We've got 13, 14 left. So yeah, it's going to be yellows for both of them, I would imagine. It is for Danny, and where's Tim gone? Yep, it's yellow soft tyres for both of them. Carl Hamilton back in the lead, of course, before penalty. Slick is right on his tail. So he's still got some work to do. Max now up to third position.
See, I'm nobody with a fastest lap. I assume he's just pitted.
Well, indeed, that's. I can now look at ACR Nobody. I have no idea where he is, but on my screen, he's just coming through turn 9 up to 10. Is that where he is for you guys?
No, he.
Excellent. So I don't know where he is.
Yeah,
fabulous.
No, that really is not good at all.
That's so
interestingly, Topa is he's doing quite solid. He's in P5. Obviously, with guys in front of him yet to pit, we assume. So yeah, very solid so far from Topa.
But Isaac is about 4.5 seconds down the road from that particular battle. So when did Isaac come in? Is he going to come in again? No, he's carrying on his merry way. He's in 4th, so he's in a pretty decent position there. It all depends on what the top 3 are going to do. I think it's Marcel Kiefer with his fresh boots on gets the fastest lap. Then he's in 5th. He's just throwing on the inside of Topa at turn 1. Look at that battle behind though. That is non-runner Danny and Segro. 7, 8, 9 right with them. Tim, that's gonna hurt, or potentially at least.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think now it's fairly safe to say, unless a miracle happens, Tim's pretty much out of the championship hunt. Now, Sergio going to try and move on non-runner? No, he isn't at the moment. He might have a look, though, into turn 8. No. So all he needs to do is stay with him through this sector, and then he's going to have DRS. But, of course, non-runner will also have DRS behind Formula Danny as well.
Goodness me, again, another shout out to Lamb Games. Thank you very much for that donation. That's a beauty. Thank you so much for that. It's great to see you're supporting the cause. Right, 2nd and 3rd, Slick and Max both in the pits. That's freed up Carl Hamilton, who does not need to pit again. Isaac up to 2nd now. 6.5 seconds for the Mercedes to close down the Williams. Soft tyres on the Mercedes. He's got 12 laps rather to do it. It's certainly doable. It all depends on how long those tyres are going to last for. Marcel Kiefer now 3. Topa is in 4th position, but if on the harder tyre, he could well keep that pressure on Marcel Kiefer. Formula Danny, there he is, just gone through the shot. In 5th position.
So, Formula Danny is, in fact, he's got a little bit of breathing space. Now, he needs to catch up to Topar, who's just behind Marcel Kiefer. Now, is Marcel Kiefer going to hold up Topar to allow Danny to catch up? You can't help but feel it's a little bit too much of a coincidence.
Team orders are allowed. Unless you're not allowed to do something to endanger someone else's race, but you can play the tactical game to a point. Is that sort of something you discuss as drivers, failure pre-race, especially when you're in a position like this where one of you's fighting for the championship? Do you discuss this sort of thing with your teammate?
I've never been fighting for a championship in AOR yet.
Oh, what a shame!
Not even for wrestling, so I don't know actually. I am in TeamSpeak with my teammate Max in every single race, but yeah, I don't know. That's not much of team orders and sort of holding any other people up for us. I think that's no, we don't do that usually. But
Fair
I don't
enough.
know about the others.
Can't speak for all. That's perfectly fair. Topar is keeping the pressure on Marcel Kiefer. He's still within a second, so still in DRS range on those medium tyres. There is Formula Danny. He's been closing in lap on lap. He's nearly within DRS range himself in the Haas. Isaac is in second. He has closed down to 5.6 seconds with 11 to go. At that pace, he will do it. He will gain on Kyle Hamilton, but will he have the tyres left by the time he gets there? As Kyle Hamilton is on those medium tyres, that could well be a win for Kyle Hamilton. We will have to see. Marcel Kiefer can't relax too much though. He's as hard as he's pushing. Although saying that, Formula Danny may give him the breathing space he wants. It's gonna be quite a big ask for Formula Danny to get that all-important win, but he's gonna get a decent haul of points and make Topar's job next week that much more difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Topar has to play defensive now. Topar has to play defensive. He simply cannot let Danny through, to be honest. I mean, I think Topar has the pace to keep ahead of Segro, but whether he will with Danny, I'm not sure. Interestingly with Kyle Hamilton, though, as you're alluding to, Kodiak, he's had 1 4th place, 1 14th place, and the rest have been DNFs. So if he gets a win, then that would be very impressive, because we haven't got too many statistics to go by for Kyle.
No, is he? I mean, he joined the season very late, so again, we're kind of judging how he's doing by a very few results. Brendan Lee down there in 9th with ATR Tim right ahead of him. He is going to. We saw him have that tap early on. He will be livid with that, I imagine. Brendan winning the last 2 rounds. Would no doubt have liked to have made it 3 on the bounce, but it doesn't look like it's going to be here. An 8th race for Tim, where Danny and Topar are it's definitely going to rule him out mathematically. At the back of Tim's mind, he may well have kind of resigned to that fact before starting the championship. But again, I'm going to throw this over to you, Failip. If you're in a decent points fight, but you're kind of, I know you said you haven't been fighting for a particular championship, but you know, there's positions to be had up and down the field, so we try and give everybody some exposure, not just the ones that happen to be at the top of the field, although they are the ones that we are mainly focusing on because they're the ones having great on-track battles right now. But if you're in a decent points battle and take Tim for instance, he's down there in 8th. Do you just think, okay, I'm not, I've got 9 laps to go, it ain't going to happen? Do you then just back off, or do you just push and push and push and push until the checkered flag comes out?
Usually you push and push and push, because that's why you are here. That's why you're racing, right? You want to be here. You want to drive fast. You want to expose your limits, so to say. You want to see how far you can go, how quick you can be, and I think usually it's push, push, push.
Sure. Fair play.
I'd be a bit disappointed maybe if you recognize, okay, this is not the result that I was looking for.
Sorry, Failip, Formula Danny is side by side with Topar. Oh my goodness me! He bounced across the apex. He has let that one back through. He has let Topar back through. But that was getting very racy through the S's. But again, if Danny has any hope of getting towards the top spot, he had to push. But I think he's too far back now. What's the gap to leader? It's 10 seconds nearest damage between Danny and Kyle Hamilton. It's going to be too much of a gap with 7 laps to go, 7-8 laps to go. So, but
Hamilton has that 3-second penalty, remember?
Where do we stand currently with penalties for Hamilton, Isaac, Kiefer, Topar, and Danny?
I haven't actually been taking track, so I don't know if you have.
It's ever gone.
Oh, that's getting close. So we will see basically when when everybody crosses the line.
Well, Hamilton has got 1 penalty. Isaac doesn't have any. Kiefer doesn't have any. Topa hasn't got any, and Danny also. So out of the top 5, only Hamilton has got a 3-second
So
time
only
penalty.
Hamilton.
Okay.
Oh, that makes his lead then 1.5. And I mean, again, as a driver, this is something that me and Hamish have kind of guessed at during our commentaries. Do you know when other drivers have got penalties?
Sometimes Jeff tells you about the guy behind you or the guy in front of you that he's got penalties, but he only says he's got a time penalty. If he's got multiple penalties, he doesn't tell you. So
That's
you
useful.
just know about the driver in front of you or behind you, and you don't know
Right.
how many.
So you know there's something there, but if you yourself have a penalty, that could be completely useless to you.
Yeah.
Oh, terrific. Oh well, that is what it is. Lap 30 or 36 then, we have got... Oh, the lap 30 is about to be completed by our race leader, Carl Hamilton. He now has come through Junsao, now coming down to the line. He is just about... No, he's actually just dipped under that 3 seconds, so he has effectively lost that lead to this man. Oh no, hang on, my timing board's just updated. It's now 4.2. That could have been under braking, of course, so he's teetering right there. But Isaac is on the softer tyres, remember. He may not have the life left to continue to push this hard. And Hamilton may just... There you go, you can see them both in that shot. The Williams at the bottom of the shot there is race leader Carl Hamilton. And Isaac can obviously... He's got his eyes on the prize. And again, whether he's aware... as Fader's just explained, he may be aware that there was a time penalty there. But again, won't know to what extreme that time penalty is. So Isaac is going to be pushing like crazy to get within that all-important 3-second amount. Marcel Kiefer leads that 3-car train we've been looking at. Marcel Kiefer, Topar, and Formula Danny. That is, what is that? That's 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Well, my particular position board is out of sync at the moment. That battle has been going on for a while. In 6th is Segura in the McLaren, getting a decent haul of points for him. There is ACR Tim in 7th position. Where is ACR Nobody to you guys again?
He is P12.
12, so he's out of the bus. Oh, that'll be Nobody. Sorry, I saw a Red Bull sideways. Of course, that is the wrong ACR Nobody, essentially. So Slick then in 8th position in the McLaren. He's actually on super soft tyres. Brendan is under all kinds of pressure by Max then. Max on the super soft shots. Sauber's thrown on the inside. Can he make it stick? He can't quite. What a move by Max then, throwing on the inside of Brendan Lee. Goodness me, that was brave. I mean, Brendan, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, that sounds a little bit disingenuous. He's going to have DRS. He could blast straight back past it. No, he didn't get that position back again. So I think Brendan's burnt the best out of those tyres. You saw the tail kick out on the Red Bull again. Ooh, he's wandered right off the road there. I think he's furious. He is overdriving that car, something chronic. Goodness me.
Yeah. So, Cody, you might want to start taking a look at Topa and Danny. I mean, this is so close. I've been keeping on board with it, and literally Topa was mega close getting moved into turn 4, but not quite. So here we go. Danny and Topa, they're both going to have DRS. Topa really needs to get past Marcel Kiefer. If he can do that, then that's going to be quite a massive bonus. And if he can pull away even better, I imagine Kiefer will just let Danny pass. I would have thought. Both have DRS. Danny, I thought he was going to try a bit of a dive bomb. No, he doesn't. Topar, he hasn't really got the speed for a switchback, although he is going to have DRS against the other Haas. Now, last time he was very close. He's in rich mixture. No, he isn't. He's actually in standard, and nothing comes of it.
Once again, thank you very much, Lamp Games. That will certainly help with operational costs. Very, very generous of you. That's a great... Oh, wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. It's a big shout out to you. That's an amazing... Actually caught me completely by surprise there. Was not expecting that, of course, at all. So thank you very much for that. Right, let's look at our not quite the championship battles. Carl Hamilton, by the merest of margins. Remember, that 3-second penalty has still to apply. He is narrowly ahead of that. Isaac may just have burned the best out of those tyres. He may not have anything left to close that gap back down again. Marcel Kiefer still under pressure by Topar, on board with the Mercedes. He is closing in on the Haas. He's going to go for the outside move. The Haas of Marcel Kiefer defending the inside line. Big lock up by Topar. And no, he can't.
For a switched back though.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was going to get a better exit, man.
Yeah.
No, he didn't quite. He is going to get another dose of DRS. It's not going to be enough, I don't think.
Here comes the other Haas. Oh! Goodness me, that was nearly contact between Danny and Topar. Then the side by side. Whoa, that's a long way off. Topar may feel very aggrieved about that. That was a very sudden move by Formula Danny. And Formula Danny had enough of being stuck behind that Mercedes. Topar may have a few words to say about that. As
not be happy with that move. I don't think that was aggressive, but Danny is a good driver. He's a very good driver, in fact. And I would say 9 times out of 10 he's fair. That was on the limit, I think. That
was really getting the elbows out. But we will see how that transpires then.
Isaac's technically just got the lead.
Yeah.
Through time.
He has indeed. But
he started from P15, so that's a very good race from him.
Wow, great effort, and he started on the medium tyres as well, so he's made the one stop really work well. And that's going to be a great. That's a great confidence boost, but Isaac Price, I'm not sure, needs a confidence boost. Again, I'm not meaning to sound disingenuous, but of course he is an esports competitor. He's an exceedingly quick driver. Oh, look at the McLarens! Seeger and Slick are having a good old battle there for 7th and 8th. They're on for a decent haul of points as well. As Seeger has got ahead of... Slick has got ahead of Seeger. Seeger is trying to fight back. Both of them under DRS. Don't take each other off. We've seen that too many times. You see Max in the background there. Brendan actually, I couldn't see him at all in that particular shot. But, oh dear, his race is going from bad to worse. We are on the penultimate lap here at Interlagos. Now 2.5 seconds between Hamilton and Isaac. That gap is falling and falling, but it's where they are when they cross the line that is the important part. Kyle Hamilton just wants a clean lap here, and he wants Isaac to make a mistake. It is still all to play for throughout the field. This result here between Danny and Topar is not going to sum up the championship. It is going to go to the final round. It's going to be very hard for Topar to do anything about it, but it is still mathematically possible. As Danny then having a look on the inside of his teammate, and Marcel Kiefer not letting that one go. We are on the final lap. Where's our leader? He is heading down towards turn 4. Still some way to go for him. Now the two Haas streaming down that same bit of tarmac then. I'm surprised Marcel Kiefer's not let him go, but there we go. No team orders then at the Haas camp. But again, with that incident we saw between Danny and Topar earlier on, that may well go to the stewards panel, so things may well still be decided outside of the race. These things are unfortunately part of sim racing. But let's jump up to the top then as Kyle Hamilton comes around the last few corners. There you saw G2 Isaac behind. He is well within that required 3-second buffer then, but coming over the line to take the checkered flag, will be demoted to second, that much we know. But let's give him the glory. He's done a great race. It is the first position initially going to Kyle Hamilton, but it's going to be a win. And there it is, you've had it confirmed. Great run, starting 15th, taking the win for Isaac. Kyle Hamilton is second, Marcel Kiefer third, Formula Danny hangs on to that 4th position, Topar 5. ACR Tim does indeed finish in 6th position as he gets demoted to 7th because of penalties. Max, Fader's trusty teammate, gets elevated to 6th then. Slick is 8, Brendan goes up to 9, Seeger at 10. Actually, is ACR nobody stood outside of the points for you guys?
12. He's
in P12. Brendan Lee got P9. He's not going to be happy with that, is he?
He's going to be furious with that, I suspect.
What a result, though, by the McLaren boys. They're only 1 point behind Williams and the constructors, and that has overturned that now, so McLaren is now in P7 rather than P8, so good job from them.
Well, remember Hamilton's just added 18 to the Williams score. And
Williams?
Yes, Hamilton's Williams.
Oh, right, okay, yes. Right, okay, yeah. Fair enough.
Oh,
okay,
Raven! Oh, just at the very end there, ACR Raven got the fastest lap for the Williams camp on the very final. He did it 109. I didn't quite see what it was. What a race! And it is going to go to the final round then for the championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's 21 points is the gap as it stands, unless obviously that position gets contested, then it'll be 17 points. But yeah, currently in favour of Danny, 21 points. So it'll be interesting. Danny doesn't have very many non-point scoring races. The last one Danny had...
There's 2, I think, I counted.
Yeah, one. Well, technically one.
Oh, he wasn't in one. Yeah, he missed one.
Yeah, he wasn't in. But the only non-points was at Malaysia and P12. So yeah, we'll see.
Isaac then getting the Welsh flag on the top spot. Fair play to you. Hamilton 2, Marcel Kiefer 3, Formula 94. 5 was Topar, 6th Max, 7th Tim, Slick 8. Brendan Lee was 9, and Segro, to remember who was in which car, rounds out the top 10. Who can we find to talk to? Who wants to talk to us, I wonder?
Well, at the moment it's just it's Marcel Kiefer and Formula Danny. It'll be interesting to ask Marcel Kiefer about the potential team, helping out the team for Danny. That'll be an interesting question.
We actually have very, very few people in Discord this week, sadly. So let's grab our 2 house drivers over.
On 0.
Hello, house drivers. Sorry, we always seem to catch people when they're in mid-conversation, when they're in the ready to interview box. Right, we are talking to Formula Danny and Marcel Kiefer. Firstly, let's head over to Marcel Kiefer. Another strong showing for you, getting on the podium. How does that feel for you?
Not too good. There was more in. I messed up the pole run again, and I made a mistake. I underfueled my car a bit. So the second stint on the softs, I just went over to save fuel, and that was also the reason why I didn't really catch up to Isaac. Otherwise, I may have caught him up in the end of the race, but I would say strategic-wise it was a bad race. The quali was okay, the final results are also okay. I mean, P3 is alright. I won P1, but that's okay for me this time. But yeah, also congrats to Danny after that big gap that Hamilton and I had at the beginning, that he caught right back to my rear. That was quite incredible. I was sweating the whole few laps just because of fuel saving. But yeah, it was a good race.
Well, again, so throwing the next question over to Danny then. We saw you involved in quite a few incidents. We saw you really getting your elbows out with Topar. Were you conscious of the fact that I must pass Topar for the championship or for the position? What was your mindset when you were right with Topar for quite a decent number of laps before you were able to make the pass?
I hope now you can hear me, not like last week. To be honest, I about 5 or 6 or even 7 laps earlier, I was side by side with Topar. I was in position in turn 1 on the inside line, but I left him the room on the outside. After I left him the room for the next corner as well. I could have turned in. I was in the better position. He would have spun and lose his front wing. That's 100%. But I left him the room and he pushed me wide. And I was a little bit frustrated because of that, so I thought I will do the same. If I'm in position, don't push me wide, please. And I was not happy by his behavior today. He's a fantastic racer. I always had nice and clean battles with him. But in my racing style, I don't push people wide, only if they push me wide. And Topar did the exact same thing with me in turn 1, 5 laps earlier. So that's why I reacted to him like that. And I knew I will overtake him because he was on worse tires. On the other hand, it was a fantastic race. First time, I think, in my life that I didn't have lag during the race start, so I catch the lights at the same time as everybody else, and it was a very good experience for me because in the past 10 race it's never happened. Brandon lagged like hell at the first part of the race for me, for Kalon, and for everybody else on the other Discord we were at. And I didn't hit him. On my screen, I had no contact. I backed off. I was behind like with 5 meters, and he just lost it like his own. But I'm sure he felt some contact because he lagged. But on my screen, I was behind him, and I was like 5 meters behind him, and nothing happened. And I just went around the outside of him then, and I lost like 4 seconds in this fantastic thing. After I had a great battle with Zimp, he defended the position very aggressively but fairly, and I thanks for him to make it clean. And but he tried his best, and he did an amazing race too after his very, very good quali lap, but he had some unlucky moments. I think at the first stint he lost the back end a few times, and his tires went off, so he needed to pit in lap 6. All in all, it was an exciting race. I think I was 100% clean in my screen. I made only one contact, and that one contact was with Sopa and with nobody else. But it was like a little bit payback, and I mean, I never push somebody out of the track, but you know, when you are ahead, it's not a nice feeling that you are clean and you leave the pace, and he did that to me in the second corner. I will respect him continuously as I respect him now. He is an excellent pilot. I just can't believe how he did that fastest lap with the soft tires. I think he would have beaten all of us today with the super soft compounds with like 3 tenths. So an amazing job, an amazing performance by him. He was really fast with the old medium tires, and I really respect him for that pace. But that moment was maybe not on purpose. Maybe he thought I will back off. It happened. I think it was an aggressive but a fair racing. We didn't brake check each other or something like that. We did our best, and it's up to Abu Dhabi.
Up to Abu Dhabi indeed. And finally, we have our race winner. We have Isaac Price in the Discord with us. Can you hear us, sir?
Yes, I can.
What a race for you. Goodness me, your season with us has been a little bit up and down for whatever reason, but getting a win on the board at Interlagos, how's that feel for you?
Big relief, to be honest. I mean, I've kind of had the pace to do good races for quite a while in the series and in other series as well, but it hasn't quite clicked for ages. And after qualifying, I kind of thought, oh, here we go again. I'm not going to get the result that my pace and my practice would have deserved, but it kind of just clicked for me in the sense that I could run the optimal strategy, and I got quite a clean run once I got through the tail end of the grid at the start of the race. I could just run my own race and do my own pace and manage the tires and just run the stint lengths. And yeah, I mean, I didn't know whether Mads had a penalty or not, so it was quite a tense moment coming up to the line, waiting to see if it would say P1 on my dash or P2. But when it said P1, that was definitely a great feeling.
Great stuff. So when you're in a position that the results aren't quite there to where you feel they should be, does that play on your mind when you're going through? You're hitting your marks and getting your pit stop strategies and what have you. Is there still that little voice of doubt in the back of your head saying, I should be doing better? Or are you able to kind of just focus on the moment and keep hitting those marks and doing what you need to do?
I think it's one of those things where it makes you just that little bit more tense. It's not anything consciously you think about, but subconsciously it does make a difference. And I can see that, like, since Hungary, my results and my performances have gone down and down and down, even though my pace has been just as good as it has been since then. So yeah, I mean, but hopefully now that I've got the monkey off my back, I'll be able to get some better results next season. Awesome stuff.
And anything in from Hamish and Fela? Any questions from you guys?
Well, I'm just impressed by Isaac's performance today. Also, he was able to keep up the lap times with the softs until the very end, which was very impressive, I think. So, yeah, good job to you there, Isaac.
Yeah, thanks. And I mean, obviously, Yoni had even better pace, and we were practicing, and we were very evenly matched all week. It was kind of a shame that he didn't get the chance to really put in the performance. I mean, to do a 0.3 on softs under all that pressure is just insane. I think if he had had a clean race, he would have won by like 15 seconds. So that's kind of unlucky. I don't know what happened, but yeah, definitely deserved better.
Nothing to add for me. So no, just good racing all around, really.
Excellent stuff. We will wrap it up at this point then. So then, thank you very much to those that have been in the chat with us throughout the stream. It is always a great pleasure to bring you the coverage for the top division of PC F1 2017 racing here at Apex Online Racing. Thank you very much to Feder and Hamish for joining me in the commentary box. Always a pleasure to have you with us.
No worries.
Thank you to our drivers as well for putting on what a show it has been. It's been wonderful to commentate on you guys. And we will see you back here for next, for the final round is going to be next week at Abu Dhabi, but there'll be plenty of Apex Online Racing action on this very channel. So we will see you then. Thank you very much, and good night.